CTV family. Catch us live on your TV screen.
Welcome back from the ad break. It's channel 263 EKSE. Live is what you're watching right now. We're taking you right through to the hour 5. Thank you for choosing us as your source of entertainment. We know that we promise you nothing but the very best. And the promise that we make is a promise that we keep.
Yes.
And we promise that every time you send an email to ekse@capetowntv.org or go ekse_live on Twitter, anything that you want us to put forward, we are going to put forward on screen.
100%.
So make sure that you do.
Yes, make sure that you do stay tuned, to tune in, and to be as loyal as you were over the years. Hashtag EKSE7, we are still celebrating that, 7 years strong, 7 years going. But our next interview that we have for you is a very touching topic, and most of you will recognize the conversation that we have, because the conversation is something that's been going on for months, and it's been a conversation that has been held worldwide. And joining us for the conversation is none other than Luvuyo Madasa, and he is a dynamic millennial that brings international experience to driving transformation and youth empowerment in South Africa. Now, he has also worked with various institutions, private corporations, as well as non-governmental organizations to create and innovative platforms that drives transformational change and, also that sustainable impact. He's also a public speaker, program facilitator. He's also the founder of Tiatumzi,
Yeah.
and also an ambassador of One Young World, and so much more. There's so much things, Luvuyo, but how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I think all of what you've just shared can be consolidated into the current role where I'm the executive director at Reimagine SA.
Yes, a lot of our viewers would recognize you from Reimagine SA because he had a chat earlier on this year with Osinalo. And today we're touching on a different topic, which is Black Lives Matter. Sonke sikwi solidarity wena Luvuyo with abantu abafuna justice for George Floyd, and this is into ebisenzeka globally because we've been vocal about Black Lives that matter every corner of the world. Is there a way, in your opinion, that we can together as Black people can be hand in hand to fight for justice? Because it's not just George Floyd, but it's a noise that we've been making throughout the decades that we do matter.
Of course, I think it's a very important conversation and international spotlight, to your point that you just made, that has been put on a conversation that's been happening for centuries. It's been happening in our grandparents' time, it's happening in our time, and we need to make sure as our generation that it doesn't happen for the generations to follow.
Yeah.
I think the conversation that we're currently having is speaking to an embedded sense of separation, an embedded sense of hatred and exclusion by one group of people toward another group of people. So it's always an us and them conversation, and it just seems to be a volcano that's been pent up for quite some time that's now bubbling out and manifesting itself in various different ways. I think what is happening internationally, when we bring it back into the local context, is a very important conversation for us to have and localize and make sure that it makes sense to us as South Africans where we are on the continent itself. And when we talk Black Lives Matter, it's very easy when this conversation is being racialized, right? It's the white and or European hatred of African or people of color, as the term is now becoming popularized. But when you think of it in the African context, what does it mean for us to say Black Lives Matter when it's other people perpetrating hatred towards a different skin color, when we ourselves are perpetrators of violence against women, as Black people who show violence against our partners, and also to fellow Africans on the African continent that has now been, captured and termed xenophobia. So I think in our effort and thrust towards taking this conversation seriously and standing up and saying we're in solidarity with an international community, we need to take ourselves seriously as to what that means in ourselves, in our homes, in our communities. And we need to find ways of celebrating our own lives, our partners' lives, and our fellow Africans' lives before we demand it of other people around the world.
To the South African economy, a quarter a century year democratic elections, South Africa still shows about Gabikoi transformation. I'm talking about a lack of investment, a lack of ownership, a lack of economy as African children. Is there a reason to be hopeful? Is there hope for us to be economically free? Hence, Black Lives Matters, since I know it's Ngalondo. But I'd like for you to answer that question after the ad break on Luvuyo. Keep it locked right here on EKSE, ladies and gentlemen. We are talking Black Lives Matters, and when we return, Luvuyo Madasa is still going to be here with us answering these touching questions. Don't go too far. Channel 263 is bringing you the very best of a youth talk show. We'll be right back.
CTV family, catch us live on your TV screens.